Hello friends, it's Chromatic Sauce and welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be watching me tattoo some handwriting. This one was really fun to do because, well, this is my client's mom's handwriting and she did not pass away. It's not a memorial tattoo, so it's extra fun when there's like the expectation of like whoever's writing. It's like, I think it was a surprise for her mom or something. I don't know. But either way, I think that's extra fun that like whoever wrote it is able to see it, because that doesn't always get to happen. So I feel like that's super cool to be able to write something from like out of a card. And her mom's handwriting is super fun, super cute and bubbly. My handwriting is not that nice, not without a decent amount of effort. But anyway, I had a lot of fun doing this tattoo, and I love to do handwriting tattoos. I'd say of like small writing tattoos, handwriting tattoos are my favorite, because there's something a little bit more to like strive to, and it's a little more personal than just like finding a font, which is okay too. I've definitely done that myself. But there's just something so personal about someone's handwriting, especially if it is in a memorial kind of way. There's something special about capturing like their hands made these movements. And I don't know how much other tattoo artists really strive to like really capture the handwriting, but I really strive to like almost, maybe not like fully like drawing it, because obviously to get it exact you have to trace the handwriting, but I try to like pay attention how are their like hand strokes moving. How do I translate this pen drawing into a tattoo, because it's not just like, you know, a pen doesn't write on paper the way a tattoo machine writes on people, you know what I mean? So the line is different. So like the lifts up, I try to do like flicks when people lift up. I don't know. I'm just talking way too much. We're just talking about writing on people's skin. So let's get started with the video. As always, constructive criticism is welcome, but no criticism to my clients. I will not tolerate it. But I always love to hear constructive criticism. And this is part of that like first batch. If you can't tell by my makeup, you've probably seen this before. I'm sprinkling everything through so we get to see me looking different. I don't know, I'm being so weird. But if you can't tell, this is part of my first batch of videos where I've actually edited it down a little bit more, so that we're pretty much only getting things that are a lot more in focus, you know, with the autofocus. Sometimes my hands are in focus more than the tattoo, but it's kind of hard because people move and I don't have all the equipment in the world. But maybe one day I will. Anyway, I'm rambling. This is part of the first batch of videos that I've actually edited down everything that's out of focus, all the clips where my head's like fully blocking the tattoo, or like me tattooing especially. And I've been having a good time editing it down so we can actually watch it with the talk through. We can actually watch it a lot closer to real-time speed without the video being really, really long. And then so you're spending the same amount of time watching more in focus, easily visible footage. So I hope you appreciate my effort, because it definitely took a lot of time. And let me know if you have any input of like what you would hope to see in videos like these in the future. But I'm having a lot of fun doing them. So and if you want to see the full length, full speed process with nothing cut out, like if you want to say like how long does a tattoo like this like take, definitely check out my full length videos. I have a whole playlist of just the full length. I always post those after the tattoo talk throughs though, so just keep a lookout. This one will be coming. I definitely like to share both, and if you have the time to like watch through the whole process start to finish, I feel like even watching it with your head like with it a little out of focus, or your head blocking it a little bit like in and out, it's worth to watch if you're like trying to learn something from this. But otherwise I'm not too concerned. I don't know, I'm just rambling. For this tattoo, we didn't want to go crazy fine line with it. She wasn't like interested in like very, very fine line. But I always like to go a little bit on, I always tend to do finer line generally, and they say bold will hold, but I say bold will bold. So I try to go a little bit on the finer side of what I'm aiming for. That way, when it heals and settles 5 years from now, maybe then it will have like bled to, like when the ink bleeds, like blurs in the skin a little bit. Then this slightly thinner line today is going to be still a little more legible and not quite so thick 5 years from now, because all ink gets a little bit thicker over time. So that's why I always go a little bit on the finer side. And it's super easy to touch up. So I just turn my machine like pretty low. I don't know, we could probably see it blinking at some point. If you know the speed, if you catch the speed, definitely comment it down below. But I kind of play it by ear. It's not really like an exact science. It's just like what feels right. Because everyone's skin is different. Every day is a little bit different. This hand, and like every application, like every time I want to do like, oh, this is the Bug Pen 5 round liner. Also, every time I want to use a Bug Pen 5 round liner, I'm not necessarily trying to achieve the same goal. Like the outline for the bee tattoo that I don't know if I've posted yet. I want maybe slightly different things versus this handwriting tattoo. I'm doing slightly different things, even though it's basically the same. I don't even know what I'm saying. I just make things up as I go, basically, with the talking, not the tattooing. Well, with everything. It's all in here, I swear. But so, I still keep the machine pretty low, but for handwriting, I try to do it kind of like writing in general, and especially I feel like I got a pretty good hold on the 5 round liner, like the Bug Pen 5 round liner. So I feel like I can get really nice clean lines if I just take my time. The machine a little bit lower, I can just take my time and in whichever way I can try to not necessarily always emulate like the same directions that someone would go, but just like if there's like a flick off at the end, like sometimes I'll try to flick off with the needle so that ink will heal in the skin in a way that sort of looks like that. Like I'll try to like do some stuff a little bit lighter, a little bit thinner. I don't know, it's kind of like artistic, even though for handwriting, it's basically just tracing over the lines of someone's handwriting. But I had a really fun time with this one because sometimes people's handwriting, first of all, isn't that good. I don't have very good handwriting myself. So not everyone's handwriting lends for a very attractive tattoo. Not in like a judgmental way, but like people know when they don't have like really amazing handwriting, or like even if it's nice handwriting but it's like kind of small handwriting, like so even if your handwriting looks good, like this isn't necessarily going to work really well as a tattoo. But this handwriting is really big and open. I love the like kind of bubbly like swirliness to it. It's I don't know. I don't know if I would say it's now I'm gonna be like whatever adjective I use is gonna be like, oh my god, she said my handwriting was crazy. But I just love it. It's fun. It's got energy. I don't know how to describe it. I frequently can't describe things the way I intend. But it was super fun. The O's, like the gaps and the E's and stuff, it wasn't like too close together or too cluttered, so we didn't have to worry about like the size of anything. And like I said, I always use the fine line. And also, she didn't want to get it too small. She was down for going a little bit bigger. We're hopefully going to be able to do something else cooler on her back. I've done a couple other of her tattoos. She's actually my friend's friend. So like, I'm more of an acquaintance because I'm awkward at being friends. But I'm definitely glad to have her as a client. And yeah, so basically handwriting tattoos tend to like seem pretty simple, and they do tend to go pretty quickly, but especially when there's like a lot of words, even if it's not handwriting, if it's just like regular like typed out writing, any type of writing, it seems simple. It's just like, it's just a word. What's so complicated? But it's not just that, because like doing a tattoo is so, I don't know how to describe it. It's not like really the most challenging thing in the world, but there's a lot more that goes into it than you would think. Like, it's not necessarily just like writing like you would with a pen. Like I said that I tried to, in some instances, emulate like the way the pen would go on the paper, but you can't necessarily like just take a tattoo needle and like just fully write it out. Whenever I tattoo, and I assume most tattoo artists have similar processes, maybe different thought process, but whatever. You don't want to hold your needle at an angle. You want to make sure you're keeping the needle at a certain depth in the skin so that you're not going too deep and causing a blowout or causing too much trauma. And you don't want it to be too shallow, so where when it heals, ink falls out and then it's like there's nothing. So I can't necessarily just like approach this tattoo like I'm just tracing her handwriting. First of all, I want to be precise. I always go slow and I try to match the stencil exactly. Because it's a handwriting tattoo. So my logic is, we're trying to capture someone's handwriting here. Like, we want it to look like their handwriting. They don't want someone's version of your handwriting. Now, at the end of the day, it is someone's version of your handwriting. But when it's like directly traced, I try to get it as close as possible so it's as if they wrote on you. You know what I mean? But so if I'm approaching this trying to trace it in a like faster way, like I'm writing like mom, it wouldn't necessarily work, because every time you can see it in like the pen version that like there's parts that your hand presses down a little bit harder. And then when you do a lift up, like the upstroke and the downstroke, there's probably going to be differences in your pressure and your depth if you're not careful. And the way I tattoo, I tend to go a little bit slower, and I try to be very mindful of the angle of my needle and the skin, so it's not putting ink in like diagonally, so I'm hitting the line, but then the ink's ending up to the side of the line. I don't know if I'm explaining it very well, but I try to be very mindful to keep my needle straight, so I can't necessarily just write it out, because to write an M, there's so many different angles the needle would be. So I really am a little bit more purposeful with all of my lines. I take my time. For words especially and line work, I've probably learned more than just recently, but I realized I knew it within the past couple months, to just dab like a lot of ointment on the skin and just pat it and just hold it. So I'll just hold the paper towel there. I don't have to worry about ink everywhere. The tattoo stays pretty clean, which is probably good for you guys too, so you can actually see what's going on without it getting too crazy. And once I don't need a stencil, I will start wiping it a little bit more. Like, I'll get a little bit of like green soap or something on the paper towel so I can start wiping away the stencil. Because I usually wipe away the stencil at the beginning to like lighten up the stencil a little bit, but I still want to try to get as much of the stencil off that's underneath the tattoo that might still be staining the skin a little bit, because I want to see, is this the purple staining the skin that makes it dark, or basically, do I need to touch up a line? Because sometimes the stencil can make the line look darker than it is, and it's like, I don't want the ink to fall out. I always go gentle. I build it up so at the end, then it'll heal up and hopefully heal up perfect. That's the goal. And then I figured I'd just leave it in here because I took a picture right away. Whenever someone's like face down, like a behind the ear tattoo or a back tattoo, I'll take a picture. I'll just snap a quick picture right at the end, just so I can reach over, just like I'm doing in the video, just so I can reach over and show the client before they get up. It's kind of hard to see. It's kind of hard to see that angle in the mirror all the way. And then obviously they're allowed to get up and look at it in the mirror, but I try to show them like straight on before they get up. And then if it's like a larger design, not words, usually words are like, there's not really things you can do differently unless a word was spelled wrong or something. But if it's a design, then I'd be like, do you want to do like white highlights, or like is there anything, like if they wanted more shading, if they're like, oh, I thought it would be darker, we could like, I don't know. I've never had anyone like pull back and be like, oh, I need you to add a lot more. That way I can show them before they fully get up, before I'm like getting ready to clean up. We can touch it up. But anyway, that's it for this video. If you have anyone's handwriting tattoo, comment down below. Let me know, what do you have? Is it a memorial tattoo? Is there some other special meaning behind it? Do you have like a friendship tattoo where you have like each other's writing or anything like that? Those are fun tattoos. I love doing handwriting tattoos, so I'd love to do more. If you're ever interested in a tattoo, definitely head to my website, chromaticsauce.com, and you can book an appointment with me. Just make sure you fill out my booking form after the fact, so I know what we're working on that day. But I would love to tattoo you, and then maybe even post it on YouTube. If you're down, you can definitely let me know. Like usual, I'm being so weird. Don't forget to comment down below. Let me know what you thought of this video. Do you have anyone's handwriting? Like I said, would you get someone's handwriting? I don't know if I would. I feel like I would be down. I have a decent amount of tattoos, so I'd be down for anything that's not like obscene, to be honest. Maybe not anything. But anyway, either way, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I love you. See you in the next one. Bye.